Hello, everybody, and welcome into another season preview show here at the Hockey Writers YouTube channel. I'm your host, Matthew Zator, and we are up to the Washington Capitals as we keep rolling through the teams heading into the 2025-26 season. I've got Chris Babos here, who covers the Capitals. Chris, how's it going?
I can't complain. Ready for hockey to swing back in action. It was a nice week one of NFL season, but ready for rookie camp, ready for training camps, and honestly, I see the Canada jersey back there. I'm ready for the Olympics in 2026. It's really not that far away, so I'm excited.
Yes, yeah, the Olympics are just around the corner too. So we've got lots of hockey coming up, which is great. And I mean, yeah, you say the offseason's been a bit slow. It was slow. We're still technically in the offseason because training camp hasn't started yet, but we're getting there. It's like a week or two away from most training camps starting, a preseason, lots of fun stuff. So we're going to preview the Capitals here. And I mean, the Capitals didn't do much in the offseason. They didn't change a lot of things. They did lose, some players, but I think Andrew Mangiapane was the only real guy that they lost. They didn't add anyone significant, but they're keeping guys like Alex Ovechkin, of course, is in his final season. We think, I don't know, like he hasn't officially announced that, but I will talk about him. We'll just start with the forward group, and since there's not a lot of changes here, what are you looking at for storylines, burning questions? Of course, no longer Ovechkin chasing that record. He's got it. He just keeps adding to it now. So what other storylines are you looking at going into the season?
So you kind of touched on it. Is this Ovechkin's final season? There were reports saying that he was going to play the final year of his contract and then go back to Russia. And then he was like, well, slow your roll on that we haven't made any decisions yet. So nobody really knows. If you look at the NHL broadcast schedule, they're preparing for it.
Yeah.
Most of the April schedule for the Capitals is going to be on national TV, minus one game against the Blue Jackets. Sorry, Columbus. But everybody else is, I think there's 6 other games that are going to be on national TV. So I think the league is preparing for it. He's not that far from a couple of milestones, whether that's 900 goals. I hope I have the number right. I believe it's 1,600 assists or 1,600 points. So, I mean, there's still a couple of milestones for Ovechkin to chase. And all things considered, the Capitals are in a relatively good position without Alex Ovechkin, which is a bit scary to say.
It is actually, when you're looking at the team, it's actually still a pretty good team. I mean, I think a lot of people are overlooking the Capitals a bit going into this season. It's like, they're talking about the powers. Like, I've done a bunch of previews, and when they're talking about the Metropolitan Division powers, Capitals don't come up right away, which is weird since they won the Eastern Conference last season. They should probably be one of the first to talk about. But I mean, there is things where last season they were motivated to get Ovechkin that goal record. That motivation's not there this season, but they're still a good team. So, I mean, their forward group still has some good pieces. Like you say, Ovechkin still can score goals. You've got guys like Dylan Strome, and he had such a great season last season, right? And now he's pretty much their number one center. So, yeah, forward group's still pretty strong, right?
So I'm going to shout out Hockey News' Sammy Sober. She does a great job with the Washington Capitals group down there. And it tends to be where I read a lot of my more detailed information about the group because I'm based in Philadelphia. So I get to cover the team remotely, but I'm not there for practices and whatnot. Having said that, based off of the reports that I've heard from that locker room, it's one of the tightest NHL groups that even some of the veteran players like Ovechkin, like Strome, like Chikrin, Logan Thompson would spend some time with Vegas. Like, even I've heard various sources say that it's just a really close locker room. They have a lot of fun together, and that tends to breed success, as you saw with 50 wins or over 50 wins last year. So if the Capitals are healthy, there's really no reason they can't do it again this year. And To the point of what you were saying, with them not really being talked about, they really weren't much considered before last season either.
Yeah.
They snuck into the playoffs, and everybody's like, all right, you got into the playoffs, great job, pat on the head. And then all of a sudden, Spencer Carberry's team comes out
Yeah.
with their hair on fire, starts the season strong, loses Ovechkin, and still just rolls. That
Mm.
was pretty wild. Ovechkin comes back, completes his journey. They tanked Montreal in the playoffs, which you would
Mm.
expect. Montreal, extremely young team, awesome learning experience for the
Mm.
Canadians, but a couple of those Capital players had been there, done that before in the first round. They needed to get out of the first round, which they did. Then they met a team that very much has been out of the first round in the Carolina Hurricanes, which will be the
Yeah.
next step. Um, did the Capitals do enough to get past the Hurricanes this season? I don't know.
Mhm.
They tried. They tried to get Nick Ehlers.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you know who we chose? The Carolina
Yeah.
Hurricanes. So that one kind of hurts. But I can kind of tease it a little bit. One of my surprises is to not sleep on the Capitals come trade deadline time,
Yeah.
because if there's somebody worthwhile out there on the trade deadline post Olympic break, I wouldn't be shocked to see a trade to Washington.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I say, their forward group is still really good. So I mean, I think, and they got some young guys like Ryan Leonard coming in for a full season, right? And he looked really good in the playoffs, and he could actually be a pretty big piece of the top 6, top 9, wherever he plays. That he didn't have last season, all season. So that's going to be great to see what he does over a full time on
The
the roster too.
the biggest stat for me out of all of that, and I'm looking it up to kind of make sure that I get right. And of course, they're going to show me the wrong Ryan Leonard. Thanks, ESPN. I'm pretty sure I know it. Ryan Leonard was, I want to say, +2 or +3 in the playoffs. He only had 2 assists. He
Mhm.
played 8 games, but you're a rookie that has played less than 10 NHL games heading into your first NHL postseason game,
Yeah.
and you still come out on the plus side of things for a team that had goals. I'm not going to say the Capitals were like, we're going to win the Stanley Cup, because I think getting to the Eastern Conference Finals would have been a boon for them.
Mhm.
I think getting out of the first round was actually perfect. Whether or not they can kind of take that next step and actually make a run, especially if this is Ovechkin's final year, I could definitely see that coming. But yeah, as you mentioned, I mean, you still got Tom Wilson hanging around. Connor McMichael took a big step last
Mhm.
year. Alexei Protas took a big step last year. Pierre-Luc Dubois found a home, even if it
Yeah.
wasn't, top 6 line, top 9, perfectly fine for him. Dylan Strome finally exploded. It's his 3rd year in Washington, but he took a massive step, like you said, to cement himself on
Mhm.
that top line. Ryan Leonard, 8 games in the NHL, now a full off season. So that's very exciting for them. Uh, you know, you mentioned Mangiapane is gone. They lost Taylor Radish, Lars Eller from the bottom 6. So there's realistically, 3 open spots in that
Mhm.
bottom 6 that could be filled by young players, by a player like Justin Sourdiff that they
Yeah.
acquired at the draft from the Florida Panthers, that they're apparently really excited about. They've tried to get him before, and he just never found a room in a very crowded winger group in Florida. So
Mhm.
they're stupid excited from what I've heard to get him in the lineup. Um, excuse me, TJ Oshie retired. Not that that's going to make a massive impact. He didn't play last year, but
Yeah.
just some clarity for the rest of the team and the cap situation and whatnot.
Yeah.
Um, Alexiev got some games towards the end of the season, or I think the last game of the season after Faravari went down.
Mhm.
Seemed overmatched in the playoffs through no fault of his own. He just didn't really have enough NHL time to be dropped in the heat of the NHL playoffs.
Mhm.
So he was also let go. But I thought the Capitals did well by grabbing Declan Chisholm from
Yeah.
Minnesota. Again, 6'7" defenseman, somebody on an RFA contract that they can kind of control that cost a little bit. And I definitely think that they did extremely well to supplement what was an already solidified group.
Mhm. Yeah.
They have Chikrin, they have Carlson. I already mentioned Chisholm's added to
Yeah.
that group. I'm blanking on the rest of their D-men, but they basically have their top six locked in, and anybody that's interested in AHL hockey in the American League, they're going to have a couple of exciting young defensemen down in Hershey. Leon Mugli is 19. Put this one down too. But they have a couple of players that should get some good time at rookie camp, get some good hands-on learning experience down the AHL this year, and then slowly be added into the lineup, which is what Washington likes to do.
Yeah. Rasmus Sandin, I don't know if you mentioned him there too.
I did not know.
Sandin would be part of that too. And he's, ever since he came to Washington, one of their best defensemen. So and then forward group, Anthony Beauvillier, they brought him back too, and he looked really good in the playoffs. So
he did an excellent job stepping in for Protas. Protas got cut by a skate late in the year. It was slow getting back in. I don't think he got really quote unquote fully back into the lineup until like game 4 or 5 of the first round. So, and again, even then, heading into the playoffs, you got to imagine cut on your foot. You're probably at what 65% at best. So Magniapani or not Magniapani. Beauvillier did an excellent job, especially considering he came from a spot where they were losing a lot of games in Pittsburgh. And found some chemistry on that top line. So that's always a bonus to have that in your back pocket. If Spencer Carberry gets into a situation, it's like, we need something on the top line. And keep going back to Andrew. Anthony, get out there and see what you can do. So
yeah. I mean, there's lots of stuff to watch for the forward group going into training camp, and the defense, I mean, pretty solidified for the group there, but still a really, really solid blue line going into the season. Goaltending, it's the same tandem. It's Logan Thompson and Charlie Lindgren, who formed a really good tandem last season. Logan Thompson, it was his first season last year, right? In Washington,
first season in Washington,
and heck of a season for him. So I mean, this tandem, I mean, you're probably pretty confident going into this season.
I mean, as long as they perform as well as they did last year, and honestly, with the defense in front of them, they really is no reason they shouldn't. I don't know if I've ever seen 2 goaltender extensions. I believe it was done in January where they extended both of their goaltenders. Thompson, I think, got 6 years. I think Thompson got 2 or 3, something like that. And it's just like, all right, cool. We got our NHL goaltenders. Sorry to anybody that's playing in Hershey for the next couple of years, unless there's an injury. That's kind of where you're playing. But yeah, Thompson and Lindgren were a great duo. They seem to work pretty well together. And watch out, Lindgren didn't really have a great season. So if he, makes his way back up to more of an average season than you've seen from Charlie Lindgren, you could be grabbing an extra 3-4 wins, which, as we saw, on a 51 win team, I think they were. That's going to make a big difference when you're really counting those points at the end of the year.
Yeah, like you say, Lindgren, the previous season was really good, and when he was with Kemper, right? So Thompson comes in and pretty much is a starter, unless you want to say it's a 1A, 1B, but I think Thompson kind of took over a bit more as the starter, right?
Thompson was 31, 6-6, 249 goals against, 910 save percentage. And again, Charlie Lindgren was no slouch. Now, please don't take it that I'm saying he's bad to anybody that's listening. 2014 and 3, 273 goals against, 89.6 save percent, so almost 90%. Honestly, you would take that as your starter any day of the week. The fact that he was a B, it was just a bonus. So the thing that slightly worries me is there just really isn't a ton of depth in the crease behind them. So they've really hitched their wagon to those 2, hoping that they're healthy. And if they are, they should be perfectly fine. But I don't. Even though his stats in the AHL were good, Clay Stevenson, 18, 8, and 5, 3 goals against, 88% save percentage in the American League. Not horrible, but I don't know what that's going to get you at the NHL. At that point, can you stomach 4 goals a game?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of tough.
Yeah, true. I mean, I think you need 3 goalies, and it's like they don't have a really solid third. We'll see if something happens in the waiver wire and stuff, which can always happen when you pick up goalies, right? So there could be some interesting guys in that position in training camp or after training camp. So we'll see if the Capitals do something there. All right, let's look at the division. Now, we talked about them being of course, won the division last season. Like I said, a lot of people aren't saying they're going to win the division this season. They're saying Carolina. They're saying maybe even the Rangers return to that. Where do you think the Capitals are in this division right now?
I think they're fighting the Hurricanes. If it was 82 games against Washington, then yeah, I think the Hurricanes win all day. Unfortunately, sorry to say that, Caps fans, but that's kind of how I see it. Carolina has to play a whole lot of other teams besides Washington, as do the Capitals. So honestly, I see the Capitals making the playoffs fairly easily, definitely in that top 3, if not winning the division. I see another 50-win season if they get average goaltending, and none of that regresses if they're healthy. I don't see any reason you don't have a 40-goal scorer in Alex Ovechkin. My X factor is Dylan Strome. I don't really see any reason he's not a 90, 100-point scorer if Ovechkin doesn't miss 17 games.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
I definitely could see that. So, there's a lot of intrigue to Washington, and there's going to be a lot of eyes on them late. So I'm interested to see kind of how that affects them. But they're a veteran team. They should place very well in the division. They're going to give you a really tough matchup. I hope you're not on the second part of a back-to-back, because it's going to be a physical fight. It's just a big, strong team. They know how to score. They know how to keep the puck out their net, and that's what you need to know how to do to win hockey games. And it's kind of a coin flip when it comes to the playoffs. I don't know how well they're currently built to succeed there, but anything can happen. And we've watched the Rangers slip in and make the Stanley Cup Finals before. So all you got to do is get in, and I think they definitely believe that. And I think it's one of those things. I've seen it before with the Flyers when a team just fully buys in. And a team like this group has bought into Spencer Carberry, and he's like, all right, let's go. Let's get this done if we can.
It's true. And that's the thing. That's why I'm not sure why people are kind of sleeping on them as being contenders in the Metro again. And because really they haven't changed. So why can't they be the same team as they were last season? So
because everybody thinks it's just Ovechkin. Everybody's like, oh, they got Alex Ovechkin. And honestly, he's going to get the headlines. He's one of my most favorite people to write about. So I have to kind of stop myself that not every Ovechkin or not every article is Ovechkin, because there's 19 other players on the team. And every single one of them contributes. So that's really what it comes down to is having those players. And again, we can pontificate as much as we want. Scouts can look at prospects. Nobody has any clue what Ryan Leonard's going to do. In the first season, the first full NHL season. He scored 30 goals last year in college. So he knows how to put the puck in the back of the net. Add another 25, 30 goal scorer to that roster. Who knows what happens? So, and then if you want to talk even scarier after that, Cole Hudson, who is potentially one of the best players not in the NHL, is a Capital second-round draft pick after the season, i.e. March, April, depending how far they go, maybe May if he's lucky. Cole Hudson's probably going to step in just like Ryan Leonard did last year and add an offensive firepower element to this team that is going to give them another dynamic.
Yeah.
Whether, again, that's going to translate into the NHL, who knows? But you know what? I'd like to have a brother that just won the Rookie of the Year from that same
Yeah.
position. Not a
It's
bad
true.
guy to ask a couple of questions to
Yeah.
before you hop into some pretty high level action. So, Capitals are extremely well set up. 20 minutes we haven't even touched on Andrew Cristal,
Yeah.
who probably is going to start with the Bears, but led the WHL in scoring last year. You've got who's the other one I want to mention? Miroshnichenko, the name I can't type. For the love of God, I can't type it, but he's right on the cusp. He got the first call up after Alex Ovechkin was injured in November, but his minutes were waffling, and they're like,
Yeah.
he's too young for that to happen. He needs consistent puck touches. He needs to play. He needs power play time. You're not getting that in Washington.
Yeah.
So they sent him back to AHL to develop. So this is an important camp, not a make or break one yet for him, probably next year, but an important camp that, there's an opportunity in that bottom six that he could find a way into that lineup. So
Yeah.
he's somebody I know there are a lot of people are excited for in Washington.
For sure. Yeah. And I mean, he'll probably come up here in our quick fire, which we'll go on into now. What are you looking at as so the first one is the biggest storyline going into this season? What are you looking at?
I kind of mentioned it already, but did Washington do enough to overcome Carolina when push comes to shove?
Yeah.
They both should be in the playoffs. Whether or not they'll meet again, we'll find out. Martin Fehervari's presence would be big if he's healthy.
Mm-hmm.
He got hurt, and I think he had either 800 blocks or either 200 blocks. I forget which one, but it was close to like one of those big numbers. It was in near the top of the league. And you take that out of the lineup, it is going to make a big hole for a defense to try to stop another team from scoring. So just his addition to that series could make a big difference. So really, I think that's what it comes down to. Either can they do something more to kind of level with Carolina, or if not, are they a tiny enough unit that it's not going to matter, and they're just going to come together and take care of business.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one to see throughout the season if they do something there. But I don't know. You look at the team that they had; they didn't lose ridiculous amount of talent in the offseason. Yeah, some good foot soldiers, some good bottom six guys, but some of the guys can maybe that are already in the lineup now can replace that, and we'll see how that all goes. All right, who are you looking? There's a few candidates for this one. A breakout star for this season.
Breakout star. First one I feel like is a little too easy, and it might not even be this season, but it might be next season. In all honesty, that's Ryan Leonard.
Yeah.
61 goals in 178 games, 61 and 78 at Boston College. It's just ridiculous.
Yes.
109 points. Like, the guy knows how to produce offense. Whether or not he can at the NHL level, we don't know yet. There isn't enough sample size. Yes, you could look at his stats and be like, well, he scored 2 goals in the regular season. He had 2 assists in the offense. This guy's trash. No. like relax, let the kid play 20, 30 games. Let's see what happens. So I think he has the chance to be the breakout star. The other one I've got is the kid they acquired from Florida, Justin Saurif. Again, another player that is seasoned. You don't know exactly what you're going to get there. But as a team that needs players in that bottom 6, could be a perfect fit for somebody that is looking for a chance to make a mark in the NHL. So I say one of those 2 players, Leonard or Saurif, probably is a good call there.
Yeah, 2 good choices for sure. All right, I mean, Capitals win the Eastern Conference, so it's like, does anyone need to bounce back? Who do you see that needs to bounce back from last season? Didn't have a very good season.
So I put none with a couple of question marks. Having said that, and like I haven't roasted him enough already, Charlie Lindgren.
Yeah.
Again, if it's the NHL, 14 losses isn't the worst.
Yeah.
But you know what? Get that to 10.
Yeah.
Maybe get a couple of those to overtime. I don't know. I don't blame him in any way. But if anybody needs a quote unquote bounce back season, maybe him. If Mangiapane was here, I'd say him. I think he
Yeah.
registered something like 40 points in the season, which was just subpar for what he was looking to do on a
Mhm.
1-year contract. But he's gone, so that doesn't matter for Washington. So yeah, I think I'll stick with Lindgren.
Yeah, it's a good choice. I mean, especially if he can get his save percentage up to the over 90, which would be a good thing too. And that would probably translate to more wins, right? So, yeah, he's probably a good choice there too. All right, you mentioned the X factor. Is that Dylan Strome is the X factor, right?
I would say yes, but no. Alex Ovechkin's the X factor.
Yeah,
Come on.
definitely. Yeah.
It's got to be. Strome, I think, has the chance to get to, like I said, 90, 100 points. But if he's healthy, and there's really no reason he shouldn't be, Alex Ovechkin,
Yeah.
get another 40 points or 40 goals. Can he get upwards of 70, 80 points again? Anybody would take that on their squad the day of the week. So I think as the lineup changes a little bit, I could see him getting a little less 5-on-5 time, a little more power play time, if that's even possible.
Yeah.
And just kind of monitoring some of those minutes just to kind of help ease him through the season. Not that I think he was in any way run down by the end of the season. I think it was just playoff hockey, and but at 40, I'm 40. I don't play hockey for a living, but I'm 40 and I feel it. So, it's one of those things that I think there's a couple of things that could probably do to help him out a little bit there. And then goaltending. It was great last year. I don't know how much you improve on 31, 6-6 for Logan Thompson. So, if they can get that consistency where he's letting in less than 2.5 goals a game, they'll be all right. I feel like watching hockey over 20, 25 years, that number's probably going to go up closer to where Lindgren was, 2.7, 2.8, 2.9. So you might be looking another 5-10 losses and how that impacts things. So, but again, I think you look at the Caps goaltending versus 31 other teams in the league. I have to imagine that's the top 5 grouping. You're not talking a star goalie like a Connor Hellebuyck, like a Henrik Lundqvist. But as far as a tandem grouping that okay, cool, they're basically going to split within 5 or 10 games of each other. I think most teams would take that grouping.
Yeah, 100%. Especially you're not worried when you put in one of them, right? It's like, and some teams are like, yeah, but it's either like with Jets, it's like Hellebuyck. Comrie's okay, but you'd rather have Hellebuyck. It's like it's not that way. It's you're pretty confident putting either of them in, for sure.
And I think that's why they got extended. In all honesty, they were just like,
100%.
you know what, cool, we trust both of you. Awesome. You know how hard it is to find a goaltender you trust? Dang near impossible in Philadelphia, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, for sure. All right, you mentioned a lot of prospects and stuff, but do you see anyone kind of surprising that you're not expecting right now that could impress in training camp and take a spot?
I think Cristal really can. 132 points in the WHL last season. That was one of the last cuts, if I recall, heading into the in training camp last season. So a lot of people are excited for him. I think Miroshnichenko has the first opportunity, so to speak, to impress. But I mean, you've got a bunch of players. Ilya Protas is I should have known this before, so I'm sad I just found this out today. He's 6'5". His nickname is Little Protas or Little Pro. Sorry, Little Pro, because he's 1 inch shorter than his 6'5" brother or 6'6" brother Alexei. So it's 6'5" Little Pro and Alexei Protas, who had a breakout season for the Capitals last year. So that's somebody that they're pretty high on. And probably not this season, but down the line. And again, not exactly this season, but like Ryan Chesley, Cam Allen, they've got a couple of Cole Hudson. They have a
Yeah.
couple of really good defenders on that back end. That for a team that won the Metro last year, they have an insanely dynamic prospect pool that they can either make trades from or just right into the post Alex Ovechkin years.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we do on Prospect Corner. We're looking at the Capitals prospect pool, and we're like, how do they have so many good prospects? And looking at not first round picks; these are second round, third round guys. Like you mentioned, Cole Hudson,
They absolutely crushed the second round recently.
Crystal, like guys that should not have been drafted at that point, that have just fallen to the Capitals for some reason. And yeah, they're going to be. They've got a future beyond Ovechkin. That's what everyone kind of was always worried about with the Capitals. It's like, who do they have that they could, without Ovechkin there? They do have some guys that can form a new core. So,
I mean,
it's
not to say they're going to do it, but they added a major, probably the best prospect in hockey at the end of last season in Ryan Leonard.
Yeah.
Let's just say that they put Cole Hudson out there on the trading block and say, hey, we have a ready-made offensive defenseman. Doesn't exactly fit this 2 to 3 year timeline or whatever. There would be a ton of teams lining up to add him to their defensive core.
Yeah.
All across the league and could net them a haul. So they have a lot of flexibility, which is pretty insane for an already incredibly deep team.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see what prospects stand out in training camp for sure. Do you have any other prospects you're looking at beyond all the bigger guys we've mentioned already that could have a chance of making the team, but probably won't this season?
I wish I would have written down his stats from it. Eric Smateko is a player. I believe he plays in the QMJHL. And it just, I had a lot of fun watching him last year in the World Juniors. So he's somebody that was like, I wonder who he got drafted by. And then I looked up like, oh, Washington. Awesome. So he's somebody that, again, probably is going to start in with the Bears in the AHL. But there could be a future there. A hardworking player, knows how to get to the high scoring areas. And, when you're looking for bottom six players, sometimes that fits the bill.
Yeah. Yeah, he played with St. John Sea Dogs in the QMJHL. So yeah, I'd say he's one of their best players too. So I really liked him during his draft year. Definitely got to watch in his first pro season.
I believe he slipped to like the third or fourth round.
Yeah, see another one.
another one of those players. It was like, you know what? Yeah, we'll take him here. That works.
Yeah, sure. All right, this one could be easy. Some teams are easier than others to project these, but who's leading the team in scoring this season, forwards and defense? You can break it down, goals and points.
Okay. If they're healthy for the offense, Dylan Strom's going to lead in points. I think he gets the century mark if he plays 80 games alongside Ovechkin. And honestly, it doesn't matter who they put on the other side. They'll find somebody that works there. So Ovechkin, I think, again, if he's healthy, I don't sports bet, but I would probably bet 40 goals.
Yeah.
He's too lethal of a shot. Nobody's stopped him in 20 years. What makes them think that this is going to year? Oh, darn, he got 35 goals this time. I would say anywhere 30 to 40 goals. Who knows? Maybe we get super Ovechkin and he gets 50 again. He's done it before. And with an extra, 15, 17 games or what have you in there, it's definitely possible. So, I think that leads to the offense. For the defense, I'm going to say it's a combo duo. They both get 50 points this year, and that's John Carlson and Jake Chikrin.
Yeah.
They were both in and around that mark, but I think they both eclipse it this year, again, based on health.
Yeah. Yeah, Chikrin has been a heck of an addition. Again, another guy came in last season and looks like he's back to what he was in Arizona there for a number of years. So, yeah, it's a very good defense still. And two guys that hit 50 points, that's pretty good.
And they paid next to nothing for Chikrin on that deal.
Yeah.
Ottawa was just like, we don't know what to do. And again, one of those players, much like Strome, that just seemed to have found a home in Washington after kind of meandering for a couple of years. and it ended up being a perfect fit.
There you go. All right, final thing. I love the bold prediction. So what's your bold prediction for this season?
Bold predictions, some kind of significant in-season move. They missed out on Nick Ehlers. So even if it wasn't a top line item, as in like we need to do this offseason to be successful, it was definitely somewhere on the list of like, hey, if there's a chance, let's do it. So just some names I looked up before we did the stream. Jared McCann is somebody that I could see getting into the mix there. If they go back to Pittsburgh, Rickard Rakell, Brian Rust, potential options. Pavel Zacha out of Boston would be just another big, heavy forward to add to a big, heavy group. So I see an addition somewhere on the forward group. They don't need defenders. They don't need goaltenders. They don't need prospects.
No.
They don't necessarily trade their first round pick because they usually get somebody dynamic in the 20s. They don't really know what they're going to get from oh man, the names, it's switching the letters on me. Lukovic is who they had this year. Harasek is who they took last year. And you don't even hear anything about them because there's so much else talent there that it's like, cool, we'll just let these first rounders do their thing, and then all of a sudden they're going to be in the NHL. So they're just Washington a really great situation. Really what it comes down to. So some kind of in-season move probably after the Olympics, just based off salary cap constraints and concerns and all that.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. I mean, they've got the prospects to deal, and they don't necessarily weaken their prospect pool by trading one of these guys, which that's a pretty good position to be in, a playoff team and have a prospect pool you can deal from. San Jose Sharks did that for years. Great prospect pool. They deal from that to make their team and keep it a contender, which I mean, exactly what the Capitals are set up to do. So we'll see what happens this season. It's they're gonna have another good season, I think. And like we mentioned throughout the show, I think there may be a bit slept on, but they were last season too. I mean, and look what they did. So maybe that's a good position they want to be in. So we'll see.
I mean, I'll be dead honest. I was waiting for the long losing streak, the 5, 7, 8 game losing streak. Maybe that's just my nature of covering hockey in Philadelphia, but it never happened. They were just an efficient machine all season long. Or efficient in the playoffs against Montreal. Don't exactly love talking about the series against the Hurricanes because they got absolutely clobbered, but it was an important learning experience for that group, and I think they learn a lot from that. I think you're going to see a fired up Ovechkin. I don't know if he knows it's the last season, if he wants it to be the last season. Honestly, I think if he makes it to 27, 28, he can chase for 1,000 goals.
Yeah. That's another one.
It's gonna take some work, but I don't know. It'd be pretty cool to be like, I was the first and only 1,000 goal scorer in the NHL. That would be something worth, Oh yeah, and adding an extra probably $8 million or some kind salary to Washington on top of that. It's not a bad gig if you can get it.
No. I honestly, with his personality and stuff, I wouldn't put it past him doing that because it seems like, he has one thing to chase. I mean, another cup would probably be something he'd love to have as well. So, I mean, I don't know. I think his motivation is still pretty high to keep playing. So I wouldn't be surprised if he signs again after this season. We'll see.
I mean, you look at it in my brain. Obviously, Florida is going to be hard to beat as a cup contender. Edmonton, because they've been there twice. Dallas, I don't know how you sleep on Rantanen and that entire group. Colorado, because they've got the pedigree. Carolina kind of still has to get over the hump, but I mean, it takes one Eastern Conference Series win and then watch out. I think they're a problem. After that, I don't see why Washington's not right there with a lot of those teams. So keep sleeping on Washington. I think they like it that way. And all of a sudden you'll look up at the top of the Metro standings and see them sitting there with over 100 points again in 25-26.
Yeah, I can see it too. So we'll be excited to watch Ovechkin for another season, at least for another season. But yeah, it should be fun. But thanks, Chris, for coming on and talking Capitals as we enter the 2025-26 season. Make sure to check in everything out at thehockeywriters.com. We got preview content, a lot of preview content already out there. Lots of season preview videos for the other teams if you want to take a look at those, and our Substack newsletter as well. But until our next one, we will see you next time.